Today on First Cup, we are talking about all the stuff you guys left in the chat on the Facebook page. I've got a new mug I'm going to show you, and it's Christmas Eve day, so I'm sure we're going to talk about that. Stick around. We're rolling in 15. And now we wait for people to join. And here we go in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Today is Friday. It's December 24th, 2021. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Well, everybody over on this camera, I want you to welcome everybody over on this camera because for the first time ever, we are set up on Instagram Live. Actually, that's not entirely true. When we first rolled out the concept for this show years ago, I think we did 1 or 2 days a week for like the first 2 weeks, trying to get some traction on Instagram. It didn't work out, but now, due to the beauty of my brain remembering I had a phone I could use this for, well, it doesn't have to all be from the same camera, does it? We've got to go in here. And if this goes well, who knows what we're going to add in. Look at all the people piling in. I see YouTube people. I see Facebook people. Good morning, Denise and Liz and Stacy and Jenny and all the rest of you who are joining. How many of you have a normal work day today? I don't. I've got one thing I'm going to get done, and it's the 2022 plan for whistlekick, and then I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to do that and nothing more. Good morning, Daniel. And I'm looking forward to having, I guess I can't call it a day off, but a light day. I don't usually do those. Daniel says, Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Well, Merry Christmas back at you. And good morning to Andy. Well, how was your Thursday? You know the big thing that I did yesterday? Something that's been on my list, something I wanted to get done. Good morning, Frank. Frank has a normal work day. He goes in at 8. I got my, it doesn't happen yet, but I did all the stuff I needed to get my passport renewed. It was a little bit ahead of time, but if you've ever had to renew a passport with a trip upcoming, you know the stress of, is it going to come back in time? And then you can spend more money for the expedited, and even expedited, it's months. And I took a look at the expiration, which is early 2023. And I said, you know what? I have no trips on the horizon, especially international travel. And I said, let's just do it. Let's do it now. I don't see myself traveling anywhere anytime soon. So I packed it all up and wrote a check and shipped it out. Jenny says, technically she does have a normal day of work. Stay-at-home mom equals no vacations for me. Daniel says, just 9:30 until I get bored today, sometime between 12 and 2, he suspects. Well, I get that. In the past, Christmas was a day for me to get a lot of work done because people wouldn't send a lot of emails on Christmas Day. What's in the backyard? Something's in the backyard. The lights are on. Can't tell. Can't quite tell from here. Could be a dog. Could be a deer. Could be a bug on the light sensor. You never know. Although it's 2 degrees, so it's probably not a bug. Coffee is good. So, I said, new mug, right? Oh, but Jeremy, it's the same old mug. Are you ready? Are you ready? I don't think you're ready. No, it's not. This one says, for those of you out there listening, and as always, I appreciate those of you who watch live, but I also appreciate those of you who watch later or listen. It says, Fri-Yay, quotes and jokes. We have a special Fri-Yay mug now. Woo! This one, just like the Jackie Chan quote mug, is a limited edition available through the end of February. You can grab it at whistlekick.com, and you can still use your discount code. Why don't you check that out? Okay. Daniel says, I get a lot of work done the rest of the year. Screw it. I'm eating mince pies. Jenny says, it's not me in the backyard. That I know for sure. Well, that would be very impressive if you made it all the way from there to here. Although you I don't know. Maybe. It could happen. What else? Really, it would. How long did I spend working on this passport thing between getting the photos and getting all the paperwork done? It was about 2.5, 3 hours yesterday. I kept signing my name too big for the box. I was like, this is a government office. They could very well reject my application because I signed outside the line. And given that you have to give them your old passport to get a new one, I figured let's be as precise as we can. So that's all off. We'll see what happens. Stacy says, my Never Settle mug moved to the new office. That's right. Stacy has a new job in a new place. I don't arrive until 1-3. So the mug's there ahead of you. That's okay. That's okay. It can hold down the fort. Maybe make some new friends. At least set the tone. It's all good. It's interesting watching people come in on Instagram and then they leave pretty quickly because they're probably not expecting a morning show from whistlekick. They're probably expecting a bunch of training. Those of you who have been around for a few years, you know what we do on here. But it's okay. We'll give it a few weeks. It's a little bit of a pain to set up. I have a separate tripod over here. I could make the cameras face each other. The world would. No, it really wouldn't. But I went to the gym yesterday. I played with the dog. Worked out. What else did I do? I got coffee yesterday. Fun fact. The local coffee shops we have terrible parking. So I don't go to those very often. I definitely don't make a special trip to go to those. We have one Starbucks in our area, and it's inside a Price Chopper grocery store. So I swung by. It took forever, but what did I have? Chestnut praline. I don't know. I'm sure it was tons of sugar, but it tasted really good. So I drank that while I dealt with my passport photo stuff. I walk in, and of course it's 2 days before Christmas, so the place is mobbed because everyone goes to a drugstore. That's where I went. I went to a Walgreens. Everyone goes to a drugstore to buy presents. I don't know why, but they do. And I walk up to the photo counter, which is doubling as a register, and I'm like, hey, passport photos? And they just kind of give me this look like, okay. Like I had asked them the biggest thing in the world. And there was somebody who had just come out from the back, and he says, oh, yeah, I got you. So he walks me over. Now, the only time I've ever done passport photos, I think, was at the AAA office, where they have like a nice corner and it's all like painted white, and that's the passport corner. Now we walk over to the magazine rack, and he pulls down, the screens from back in the day at school, the projector screens. He just pulls down one of those and takes a folding chair and sits it in front. And he squats down in front of me with the type of digital camera you might have had 6 years ago. He goes, okay, look at the lens. 1, 2, 3, click. It was the simplest process. It was great, and I really appreciated it. And the guy was funny too, so I had a good time. And I just wandered around the store for 10 minutes while they printed them. And then he had to ask me a bunch of questions about my face and my name. Daniel says, I like Starbucks coffee. It's a shame I can never drink it. They avoid tax massively in the UK, so I can't bring myself to give them money. I feel like there's a joke in there. There's a taxation joke in there. We'll leave that one alone. Fun fiduciary responsibility to shareholders. Something that, if you do not know what that means, you should look it up. Liz says, I almost did a tax joke, but I didn't. I want to know what's going on with you all for this weekend. I have a pretty straightforward weekend. I'm going to do what is probably an hour of work this morning, and then I'm done. And then I think I'm going to hang out and watch TV and drink way too much coffee because it's fun. And I'll probably go to the gym later, and I'll probably go for a hike tomorrow. And I don't know what I'll do on Sunday. Probably just, stuff around the house. But I want to hear from all of you. This is first cup. So as you're waking up, tell me what you're doing. What's going on today? What are you doing for plans this weekend? Are you traveling? And I can't make Instagram come up on here, but I'll read the comments. You guys will get the idea. And for those of you who come in on Instagram, if you want the full experience, I would recommend Facebook or YouTube. So let me know. Drop in the chat. Okay, here we go. So Denise says, cooking homemade sauce and meatballs today, cooking ham, scalloped potatoes, and Brussels sprouts tomorrow. I've got a feeling there are some people who would show up at your doorstep if we gave them your address. Andy says, watching Die Hard. But Denise is currently cleaning the snow off the dog. Daniel says, nothing tomorrow, just TV and rest. We're doing the big family Christmas meal and gifts on Boxing Day. For those of you who don't know, that's the day after Christmas. That's a holiday that they celebrate in the rest of the English-speaking world, just not here in the U.S. Stacy says she's watching Die Hard tonight. Jason says, I used to have one of those government jobs and had to work every single holiday, including the obscure ones. So this year, just enjoying not having to worry about going to work. Well, congratulations, my friend. I'm glad that is the case. I'm happy. I'm good. One of the things that I'm doing, I made a slight change to how I present this. And I've talked about this before, that I try to start my day. The first thing as soon as I wake up is I try to say something positive. And it used to be, today's going to be a great day. I'm going to have a great day. But I've made a small change in the language that I use to, I'm going to make today a great day. Today, I'm going to make today awesome. Taking some control, taking some responsibility over how the day goes. Has it made a difference? I don't know. It definitely hasn't made things worse, though. So I'm going to keep doing it. Daniel says, our Christmas dinner is kind of like your Thanksgiving meal, turkey and all the trimmings. Kelly says that she's wrapping, cooking, and having Christmas there. Then tomorrow going to her parents. Jenny says, picking up my boys, visiting family a bit, then home to cook a nice ham dinner for the boys. There will be cookies, cocoa, eggnog, and Christmas movies to finish the evening. My favorite part will be having all the kids wake up here tomorrow morning, after Santa comes. I'm just going to go on record and say eggnog is disgusting, and I don't care who disagrees with me. Eggs are a food, not a beverage. You should not drink them. You should eat them. You should put them in other things to make them tasty. The idea of drinking eggnog. How do most people drink eggnog? They put alcohol in it. Why? Because that's what you have to do to stomach the idea of drinking eggs. Liz says, we are headed to my in-loves, that's what she calls her in-laws, tonight for Feast of the Seven Fishes. I don't know what that is. Everyone is coming over to our house for Christmas. Then we will head to my parents the day after Christmas. First cup is the calm before the flurry of activities. Frank says, today I work, but tomorrow the store is closed. I will go to my aunt's house tomorrow at 4. Daniel agrees with me. Eggs belong in a cake, but Jenny says, that's fine. More for me. Denise says, I agree about eggnog. I stick to hot cider. Hot cider is pretty darn good. Mulled cider. Ooh, yum. So I don't know what this Seven Fishes is. Denise knows. What is this Feast of Seven Fishes? It sounds like something that I'm not sure if I'm missing out on. And he says, having Christmas with my girlfriend and her family. Sounds like you all have some pretty solid plans. That's great. Daniel's closing his store up this afternoon and not open again until January 4th. That's great. Frank says he's more of a hot chocolate guy. And Jenny, despite her willingness to drink eggs, says hot cider is definitely yummy, because it is. And while Denise says it's an Italian Christmas Eve tradition, that doesn't help me. Is it? Do you eat 7 fish? Are they different fish? Are they alive? Do you cook them in a certain way? Do you stack them like a tower? Do they just sit in the corner until they smell? I don't know what's happening here. All right, so Liz is telling me it's an Italian tradition. It's eating all types of seafood for dinner. Okay, so that's something. Kelly's giving me the voice of what's his name? Crap. Jeremy says, I will not drink eggnog. I will not drink it here or there. I will not drink it anywhere. Dr. Seuss there. I was going to be really disappointed in myself there. Liz says they play Jenga with the fish. See, that makes more sense, but she's joking. All right, and let's see what you all contributed to talk about. We're going to start off with the jokes because it is Fun Day Friday, right? And that's why on this logo, it says quotes and jokes. It's small at the bottom. Brand new mug, unveiling today. And these jokes are courtesy of Frank. Thank you as always to Frank for all of his work on this show. I don't think all of you realize how much work Frank does on this. Why don't you ever see Santa in the hospital? Because he has private elf care. Oh, this is great. What's the difference between the Christmas alphabet and the ordinary alphabet? The Christmas alphabet has no L's. Why is it getting harder to buy advent calendars? Their days are numbered. How do you know when Santa's around? You can always sense his presence. What do you call an elf that can sing and dance? Elfus. What's an elf's favorite sport? North Pole vaulting. What's Santa's favorite snack food? Crisp Pringles. What's the best Christmas present in the world? A broken drum. You just can't beat it. How do you help someone who's lost their Christmas spirit? Nurse them back to elf. And what do snowmen wear on their heads? Ice caps. I like that Noel one. That one was solid. Denise is continuing to try to help me understand this Italian tradition. I'm starting to get it. It sounds like it sounds like something we would call like a seafood platter in New England in the summer, except it's probably not all fried. Brian. Hello, Brian. Brian says, happy holidays. All eggnog is amazing, especially with a kick. Hot cocoa is fantastic too. All the yummy drinks. Brian just moved to a new house. Daniel says, what's the difference between snowmen and snow women? Snowballs. And everybody in the chat wishing Frank Merry Christmas and thanking him for all he does. Ooh, this is a good one from Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. What do you call a Christmas tree that knows martial arts? Spruce Lee. From Liz, what do you call Santa stuck in the chimney? A crispy Kringle. You guys are on fire with the jokes today. I love it. All right. back into the Facebook group for more stuff. All right. We got more stuff from Josh. Josh has been killing it, giving us stuff to talk about. Really appreciate him. Today marks the 6th anniversary of the movie Yip Man 3. Excuse me, here's some trivia from IMDb. While Bruce Lee is portrayed as a direct student of Yip Man in the film, the reality is that Lee was one of the students in Yip's school. Lee's instructor was Wong Shun Leung, himself a student of Yip Man. A letter from Lee to Wong expressed, quote, "Even though I am technically a student of Yip Man, in reality, I learned my Kung Fu from you." Wong was well known for his participation in illegal underground martial arts competitions called beimo, where he was rumored to be undefeated. Wong retired from participating in these fights after accidentally blinding an opponent. Over the course of his lifetime, Yip probably had several students, some staying for a few months, others for longer, and others for maybe a few weeks. This explains the existence of people who claim lineage from Yip Man. 2. Donnie Yen studied Mike Tyson's past matches to prepare physically and mentally for the fight scenes with him. As a former world heavyweight champion boxer, Tyson punches over 1,500 foot-pounds of force in the ring. If you want to see one of the scariest people on earth and just be fascinated that they even existed, go find footage of like 18, 19-year-old Mike Tyson doing pad work. It's faster than you can imagine with tremendous power. You know, if you've done pad work, you know that when you're like, okay, I'm going fast. And you know that, yeah, you don't want to take one of those shots at that force in the face. But when I do pad work, I'm at what, 20, maybe 30% power? The gap between Tyson's speed and power, right? Those are generally kind of two aspects of the spectrum, or force, strength, and speed, if we look at it from the Superfoot dynamic. Then even at his fastest, he was much more powerful as a percentage than most of us. And so you watch that pad work, and the people holding the pads can barely keep up with not only the speed, but the power that he's generating. It's mind-boggling. And when I think about getting into a fight, right? Like how would you get in a fight? Would you get into the boxing ring with this person for this much, or have a kickboxing match with this person? If there's enough money on the line, yeah, I probably would, because I would probably live and there'd be a lot of money. Mike Tyson in his prime is probably the only person I ever watched and said, there's no amount of money, because one punch could kill me. Now, granted, he's much larger than I am, but still. It's a very strong dude. Very scary. And Daniel agrees. He says, go find footage of 50-year-old Tyson. Yes, when he was preparing for that fight, which was not a fight, and it was a big joke, he was still far faster and far stronger than you would ever imagine. I mean, guy's got 8 years on me. I've never been as fast as he is now. It's crazy. Then he says, you should have just played Punch-Out. Good stuff. All right, back in. One more quote. Donnie Yen's wife publicly expressed her worries that Yen might get hurt by Mike Tyson. However, it was Yen who ended up fracturing Tyson's index finger while filming one of the fight scenes. Two strong, powerful men committed to putting on a good show. Yeah, that would be worrisome. Donnie Yen's great. He is, of the currently active martial arts actors, would you call Donnie Yen the biggest? Jackie Chan's not really doing anything anymore. Jet Li is not doing anything anymore. I think Donnie Yen's probably the biggest name. Stacy suggests how to fight Mike Tyson, a reference to the how to fight episodes we've done. Run. Yes, that is how you fight Mike Tyson. You run. Because there's no other option. Denise is saying Keanu Reeves. Oh, is Keanu Reeves a martial arts actor? I would call Keanu Reeves an actor who does martial arts. His acting came long before his martial arts, as far as I understand. Versus Donnie Yen, who, if you know his lineage, grew up with likely the most prominent and justifiably so woman in Chinese martial arts, at least in a few generations. Bao Mark is the real deal. Andy says, goodbye, have a Merry Christmas, headed out shopping. Ooh, good luck. Brian says, next, maybe Michael Jai White. I would agree. I would agree. Donnie Yen's probably a couple notches. And I think the proof in that is the caliber of movies. Michael Jai White should be a bigger deal than he is. He's charismatic, he is kind, he's incredibly skilled, and he's a solid actor. If you look at his catalog, his body of work, he should have been a bigger deal after Spawn, but Hollywood just didn't want him in it. I have speculative reasons. I'm not going to share them. You can infer your own guesses if you would like. But I've had the chance to work out with him twice. He's a great guy. We share an instructor, and would love the chance to work with him a little more. Actually, he is responsible for changing the way I do front kicks and the way I think about front kicks. Jenny says, next names that come to my mind are Michael Jai White and Scott Adkins, but Donnie's bigger than those two, I think. And she loves to watch Michael Jai White movies, so crisp and clean and beautiful. Yeah. Daniel says, Keanu Reeves is quoted as saying, I think I had one Aikido class or something, so I only know movie Kung Fu. Even he admits it. Doesn't the new Matrix come out today? Isn't that out today? Maybe I'll go watch that. I want to see it, and I want to see it in the theater. I think I saw the other three in the theater. And I rewatched them. And the first one's great. The second and third ones they're fine. Now, Daniel says 22nd there for the Matrix. So it's probably already released, and I didn't even realize it. I knew it was soon. All right. And excuse me. So Josh's question, what personal meditative practices do you all have? He wrote, do y'all have that keep you centered? For example, they may not be the whole standard deep breathing in a lotus position, Om thing. Perhaps it's some meditative moving exercise like swimming or walking, or a meditative activity like painting that gets you in that state. I have gotten into the habit of listening to guided meditations before bed. And they've really, really helped my sleep. And I continue, like every few weeks, I'll take a night off, just like, because I'm a nerd and I split test everything I do. All right, so my sleep's been going well. Let's try not doing it tonight. And I still fall asleep, but it's not the same. It's not quite as good. I don't know if it would work for you, but I've got headphones and they're plugged in, because the reality, as far as I see it, of Bluetooth affecting you is it's in the middle. It's not a non-issue, but before bed, I'm going to try to limit my radiation on my brain. So I plug in my headphones, and the meditations that I listen to are anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, and I'm mostly asleep by the time they're done. and they end, and I just turn my phone off and I put it on the other side of the bed and I crash out, wake up the next morning and go, and I feel great. You can find all kinds of these things. If you want one service, and we are not endorsed or anything like that, I'm paid nothing for this. Brain.fm is one of the most powerful tools in my toolbox. I primarily use it to induce a focus state, and you better believe I'll be listening to Brain FM while I'm putting together the 2022 whistlekick plan. But it's also got a sleep mode where you can play it in the background while you sleep, and it will help you sleep. This isn't just woo-woo stuff. There's actual science behind this. There's a meditation side of it. There's a relaxation side of it. And it's $7 a month. It's $6.95 a month. And how much more productive do you have to be to justify $6.95 in a month? 0.25%. This is probably the best return on investment you would find if you give it a shot. So give it a shot. I love it. That is not what I'm using before bed. There are other products that do guided meditations that you might find more valuable. The ones that I'm doing are paid, and they're like $60-$70 a pop. But there's some reasons I'm doing those. We won't get into that. Apparently everybody agrees the Matrix is out, and I just didn't know it. Jenny's meditative practice is yoga and reading. Daniel's is archery. Archery is my meditation. I really need to do some more traditional meditation, though. Liz says yoga, painting, hiking, and in nature. And the one thing I'd like everyone to consider as we wind down here, I don't mind that we're going a little long, a little late today. The one thing I'd like everyone to consider is that meditation doesn't have to be the conventional sitting down, right? And Josh said that in his question. Meditation can be the way you do other things. The way we do our martial arts can be meditative. You can do forms in a very intense way. You can also do them in a very meditative way. If you think about that feeling of meditation and approach any one of your forms, that's an option. You can do that. So don't be afraid to do that. Just walk through Pinyon Shodan or Taikyoku or Chungji or whatever you got, and do it in a relaxed, calm way where you have an intention in your breathing. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Jenny says cooking and baking are also meditative for her. Stacy says mine is using my singing bowls at night. Stacy brought those to free training day, and man, were they cool. It's like having a gong, a gong with options. You could be nice or you could be really loud, and I appreciated having those. Don't underestimate the value of intentional practice. That's not quite the right word. Habit. Routine. I find meditation in routine. I find brushing my teeth and the things that I do as I'm brushing my teeth, right? Because I don't just brush my teeth. There's mouthwash and everything. No, I don't floss. Flossing is dumb. I will fight people about that. Also, the general idea of brushing our teeth shouldn't have to exist, but that's a whole other conversation. Oh, Mindy's here. Hi, Mindy. Mindy says, I teach meditation to all of my students, even 3-year-olds. It looks different depending who is in front of me, and I meditate daily. There you go. Woo! I think I struck a nerve. Daniel says his partner runs to meditate. She can just completely zone out, putting in the miles. I can't. I take every step thinking, oh God, I hate running. I like that. Mindy says, I call routine ritual. Makes it more of a process. Nice. Stacy says, that one was the mother one that is connected to my croning ceremony. We should probably chat about that. You would be only the second person I've ever known to be officially croned. Come on, camera. Come back. There we go. Quotes and jokes. All right. I think it's time. I hope you all have a great day. I hope whatever's going on with you, family, travel, gifts, etc., I hope it is enjoyable. I hope if you're like me and maybe on your own, that you still find ways to enjoy the time and recognize that sometimes being by ourselves is a gift, because you don't have to worry about anybody else. You can do what you want. And that's kind of my plan, is what do I want to do? So I think I'm going to go see The Matrix tonight. And I'll probably go out to dinner by myself, because I have no issues doing either of those things solo. But I hope to see you back here on Monday. Wow, look at everybody here. Man. All this stuff chiming, go plowing through. Denise, have a great day. Brian, Mindy, Stacy, Frank, Jenny, Daniel, Kelly. Did I get everybody? My apologies if I did not. You guys are posting so much. It's hard to keep. Liz, it's hard to keep track of everything going on. I appreciate you joining me. And just a quick reminder, if you got stuff to talk about for Monday, facebook.com/firstcupwithjeremy. Because we do it every weekday, 6:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. And if you want to support us, remember we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/whistlekick. You can use the code FIRSTCUP15 to save 15% off something like this mug or anything at whistlekick.com. And if you want the full list, I added more photos yesterday of Andrew to the family page, whistlekick.com/family. And we added, of course, the information on leaving a review for Martial Arts Radio on Spotify. That's a new thing. If you have Spotify on your phone, please listen to 30 seconds of any episode, and then you can rate it. Hopefully you'll rate it 5 stars. But if you do, please, we would appreciate it. Why? I'll tell you why real quick. Every time a platform does something like this new, there's an opportunity. They're going to take that data. They're going to do something with it. If we can get out in front and have a ton of 5-star reviews, when people go browsing, we're more likely to show up higher and pick up some new listeners. So please, 5-star review on Spotify. It's free. Takes you like a couple minutes. Merry Christmas. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas, Andy. Everybody. I think I got everybody's names. Take care, you bunch of crazy people. I love all of you. Thank you.